Hello, welcome to our daily V News, and here are the headlines.
Ho Chi Minh City People's Committee Chairman Lê Hoàng Quân meets U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services. First Korean language newspaper makes debut in Vietnam. European Union launches annual publication Blue Book in Hanoi.
Chairman of the Ho Chi Minh City People's Committee Lê Hoàng Quân met visiting U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services Kathleen Sebelius in the city on June 18.
During the meeting, Chairman Quân said Ho Chi Minh City is keen to receive further U.S. assistance to care for patients with terminal disease and disabilities and prevent mother-to-child transmissions of HIV/AIDS. The host held Vietnam-U.S. medical cooperation over the past time, which, according to him, has helped combat the spread of HIV/AIDS in Vietnam. The leader expressed his belief that U.S. and Vietnamese hospitals will continue working together in professional areas and scientific research, contributing to lifting the two countries' ties to a new height. Sebelius said the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are working on a global health security initiative and will work with the Ho Chi Minh City Pasteur Institute to establish an emergency medical center in the future, in an effort to help the city manage epidemics and emergency cases in the southern region. She said she believes the two nations' medical cooperation will bear fruit.
Ho Chi Minh City hopes to cooperate with France's Brest City in urban and port development. Chairman of the Municipal People's Committee Lê Hoàng Quân made the remark at a reception for Mayor of Brest City, François Coindre, on June 17.
Chairman Quân said many practical activities have been organized this year to mark the 40th anniversary of Vietnam-France diplomatic ties, calling upon businesses and investors of the city and France to invest in Ho Chi Minh City, particularly in urban and port development. French enterprises have invested in 152 projects in the city, with capital totaling $750 million, he added. Quân expressed his hope that the Brest City mayor's visit will contribute to fostering the multifaceted cooperation between Vietnam and France, and between Ho Chi Minh City and Brest City in particular. For his part, Mayor Coindre said urban transport development is an urgent problem, since it's not simply the matter of traveling, but also a way to improve the livelihood of citizens. Brest Mayor expressed his hope that Ho Chi Minh City will succeed in its projects, especially the construction of its metro system.
The Vietnam Courier Times, the first Korean language newspaper in Vietnam, made its debut in Hanoi on June 18.
Its collaboration of Vietnam Pictorial, a Vietnam news agency publication, and a newspaper for overseas citizens of the Republic of Korea. It will provide information on Vietnam's investment environment and cooperation opportunities, while serving as a reliable source of news for Republic of Korea policymakers, scholars, businesses, and the Korean community living in Vietnam. The 24-page color-printed Vietnam Courier Times will be published every Tuesday, covering a wide range of topics from politics, economy to culture, education, art, the Vietnamese nation and its people, business activities, and community information. During the publication's launch ceremony, both Vietnam News Agency's General Director Nguyễn Đức Lợi and Judge d'Affaires at the Republic of Korea Embassy in Hanoi, Oh Na-young, expressed their delight at the growing friendship and all-around cooperation between the two countries, which has developed into a strategic partnership. General Director Lợi noted that the Republic of Korea is now the second largest direct investor in Vietnam, with registered capital totaling over $24 billion. The newspaper reflects the Vietnamese government's interest in the Republic of Korea community in Vietnam.
The European Union has fulfilled its financial assistance commitments to Vietnam since 2007, despite the global economic crisis. This is specified in its annual publication Blue Book that was launched in Hanoi on June 18.
The 104-page book summarizes the EU's policies on development assistance and areas of cooperation with Vietnam in 2012. It was compiled at a time when Vietnam faced challenges posed by its status as a middle-income country. EU Ambassador Franz Jessen said he hopes the EU's bilateral assistance for Vietnam will help the country accelerate policy reforms in various areas, such as legal regulations, public finance management, and health. The EU has also helped Vietnam with regional integration and strengthens bilateral cooperation in energy, tourism, climate change, and environment, he said. Last year, the bloc disbursed 395 million euros in Vietnam and committed 743 million euros for the country in 2013. In June 2012, the two sides started negotiations on bilateral free trade agreement. They also inked a friendship and cooperation agreement in order to diversify their relations.
Vietnam is targeting credit growth of 12% to keep this year's economic growth at 5.5%. The governor of the State Bank of Vietnam, Nguyễn Văn Bình, made the statement at a conference in Hanoi on June 17 to launch the banking sector's tasks for the rest of 2013.
Thanks to the credit package of $1.4 billion for home purchases and proper monetary policies, lending is expected to recover in the last 6 months of this year. According to the banks, it is necessary to stimulate market demand and promptly settle bad debts. While consumption is sluggish, businesses' capital lies dormant in their own inventories and debts that they cannot reclaim. It has hit various sectors, not only property, steel, and cement industries.
The government and municipal authorities should act to fuel consumption and quickly disperse key state projects, especially those that are labour-intensive and use a lot of raw materials, to generate more jobs and income.
At the event, Governor Binh announced that the credit in the January to March period recorded positive growth.
We must make every effort to post credit growth of 12%, or 15% if possible. If this is done, economic growth will probably reach 5.5%. It is a crucial goal.
Recently, the State Bank of Vietnam cut lending rates to between 10 to 13%. Loans at this rate now account for 50% of all lending. Moreover, the establishment of the Vietnam Asset Management Company will encourage stronger credit growth.
Vietnam shellfish exports in the first 5 months of this year reached $770 million. The Vietnam Association of Seafood Exporters and Producers said the figure represented a year-on-year decline of 6.7%.
Vietnam is expected to earn around $800 million in the first half of this year, down 7.3% year-on-year. The association said the performance was attributed to the sharp fall of exports to some markets, including the European Union, with $150 million, down 17.6% over the same period last year. During the first 5 months of this year, exports to the U.S. increased 3.8% to $150 million. The association's General Secretary Trương Đình Hòa said jar fish exports will remain gloomy in the near future as the EU economy struggles difficulties. The devaluation of the euro against the US dollar also causes difficulties for European importers. However, exports to the U.S. will recover in the following quarter and maybe reach as high as last year, Hòa said.
And that wraps up our program today. Thank you for joining us and see you next time.